This song always makes me think of Airplane the movie. Every time I hear it, which is probably one of my all-time favorite funny movies ever. I laugh as hard on the 200th watching as I did probably the first time I saw it as a little kid. I'm going up to the barn, but I'm headed to the new apartment just to drop some stuff off. Not like major stuff, but like just minor things to make it functional, like some towels and a toothbrush and soap and toilet paper and just, you know, like things. I have this compulsion to want to just move everything over. It's harkening back to that sneaky feeling I was talking about yesterday. I'm just going to take this transition slowly and methodically. Here's the one weird thing. All the places I've lived, like to get in the garage, you've had a clicker. So you just go boop and open the door. And you know, it's like a key fob. And this place has a RFID card. And that's annoying. Like, it's much easier to have everything on your keys and boom, be done. But like, I'm not going to keep a card on my keychain. I wish I had a clicker. So, in terms of adversity I'm going through, that's the worst part about the new place so far. Man, I was just driving and I got off onto this like fantasy tear of things I'd want to tell him if I ever, you know, could confront him, and it got really mean. Like, whoa. I was thinking about saying something along the lines of, you know, someday you're going to want to talk to me. You're going to suffer and think that I'm the only one that will understand what you're going through. You can't believe that she could possibly have done what she's done to you. And I said, you'll think back to now and think, oh God, she did that to somebody else. And I said, you'll think it's worse because maybe you will have gotten married, but she already did that once. Maybe you will have kids and you'll have to endure the most, you know, the most difficult postpartum depression situation you've ever had to go through. And you'll think maybe I will understand more than anybody else will. But f*** you. Don't ever contact me. You know, something like that. Like, I know what's going on. And when it gets hard and difficult and ugly, I will understand more than anybody else. You don't get to live life the way she's doing it, the way he's doing it, and just have the kindness of others. Well, let me take that back. Not the way he's doing it. She can charm the shit out of anybody and probably get whatever she wants. And there will be a lot of low times ahead, I'm sure. But like in the present, in the now, that thing that gets you from day to day, you know, hour to hour, that's good now. And what I need to remember in the future is when they eventually pull back and when human nature takes over, that it's not necessarily as personal as it will feel in the future. I'm sure when it happens, I will be really hurt. But it's human nature. I mean, they're going above and beyond now to help me. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful in the now. And I believe it's real in the now. It might be serving their interests too, but if it's a symbiotic relationship, all the better. You know, then I'm not just the recipient of charity. We're both helping each other heal through this awful thing. I'm definitely not as up as I was yesterday, but I don't feel super low either. I just kind of am. I have a little bit of anxiety, but I think some of that's the school year coming on. I'm glad I did the things I did last night in terms of moving stuff into the apartment. I got this nagging feeling this morning that she's going to take the dog. I mean, I don't know why, but if she's going to move up to the San Francisco area and have to take the train into work, in and out. I was thinking like, oh, she won't be home to walk the dog, but if she lives on a horse farm and the dog can just roam free, wouldn't really have to let the dog out. Here's my fear. We're going to go to mediation on Wednesday, and the money thing is going to come up, and it's going to get ugly. And even though she said she's giving me the dog, and her intent has been to give me the dog, even though the whole time that's been out there, I think once the money thing comes up, and bear in mind, the money thing is legally, you know, according to the formula, what I'm entitled to. It's not me trying to gouge her or be mean. It's what the court would order, according to my attorney. So I'm not a legal mind, you know, I'm married to a legal mind. I am not one, so I've only empathetically been through law school. But make no mistakes about it, I'm a dumbass. I don't know law. So now that we've gotten through that, I'm going to pursue what I'm entitled to, and I think it's going to get really ugly. And I think, based on what we've seen her do so far, if people don't go along with her, she punishes them. Her family hasn't embraced the new boyfriend and wanted to meet him and blah, 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 and kissed her ass. So she has booked a trip to French Polynesia for Christmas and has told nobody about it. That's how she punishes people. She knows Christmas means a lot to them. It's about family and things like that. That's what she has planned. Given that that's sort of her MO, don't you think if the money thing comes up and she gets pissed, she's going to take her dog? I do. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm at fault for thinking so negatively about her, but I have to make that allowance in my head. Otherwise, it would be worse. If she did it, it would be terrible. But here's what happens in my situation, and probably in everyone's. When she broke up with me, total blindside. We know that, and it puts everything in doubt. Anything about my wife now, I don't trust. I didn't think she was capable of doing the things she did with such severity and such cruelty and selfishness. I didn't think she had it in her, but she did. So once you get exposed to that and wrecked by that and broken and it just hurts so bad, it sort of opens this door of, well, anything else is possible. She very well could take the dog. She could be in there taking the dog right now, which is why I set up the webcams every time I leave, because I just don't trust her. On the same token, she could have a change of heart and send me a super friendly email or come knocking on the door and want a hug or it could go any way, because anything is possible. And I believe anything is possible because the impossible happened. What I never thought she could do, she did. So the change really is then in me. I have to not want it. I have to build up an immunity to it. And it's hard. I'm feeling a little better the past couple days. I think it comes down to this. Anything is possible. And hope is dangerous. So that's where it gets really messed up. I can't hope for yeah. Okay, all right. This is good. We're getting a thing here. I'm just not putting the words to it well. Hope is bad for me. Hope is bad for anyone in the victim position, because it allows you to keep the door open and to stay vulnerable. And it's just this constant maybe. And it doesn't let you heal very well, because you keep hoping for something, hoping for the future. So the personal work you need to do when you're in the victim role is you need to stop hoping. And it's hard. It's so hard. If you're like me, I'm so good at hoping and just holding out hope and belief, and I feel like it's one of my strong qualities. And in this situation, it's not. It's a detriment. So the 1-2 punch of it is, if you're a very hopeful person and you're aware that anything is possible, anything ranging from catastrophically bad to amazingly good, hope paired with anything is possible leaves you in this state of maybe, that's bad. That's a tough one. I'm pulling into the barn. I hope that he's not here. I can see the realtor's car. Don't think I see... Yay. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you later. Hey. This might be hard to hear, but the guy that owns you is an asshole. You're cute, but he's a total dick. Yeah. He just sucks. He knew me, and he broke up my marriage. The guy that owns you. So don't believe him. Don't listen to him, because he's evil. He's a really evil person. She's no peach either, so just know that, okay? Hey, you should know too. He's not a good guy.
He really has no morals or scruples, so you don't have to listen to him.
Another day that didn't go quite as planned. It's been a pretty long day at the barn. I can't even remember everything I did. I did computer work. I worked on the floor plan layout for my house. Hung out with my barn friend. She got very bored and kind of moody and didn't want to do anything, so I taught her to ride the boosted board, and then we took the golf cart and we went on an adventure around the barn. And we went down and we saw the chickens.
Look at all
we
those
looked at
chickens.
the dressage arena, and we just we just tooled around in the golf cart, and it was really fun. And then we were sort of joking about going down in the canyon next to the place and sort of driving the golf cart through the canyon. We're like, ha ha ha, hey Matt, we want to go down into the canyon. He's like, oh yeah, that's fine. We're sort of like, really? So we went down and drove through the canyon, and it was super fun. It was like hiking, but in a golf cart, and the trail is all covered in wood shavings. So it was just this soft, like, tooling through the woods, or tooling through like pastures and overgrowth. It was nice. So that was a good time. And then the getting back up the hill is really steep, so you're sort of like, whoa! But it was fine. That golf cart has nothing but torque. So that was a really good time. It's just strange, like the hours do kind of melt away. But I helped feed horses. My wife's boyfriend was there for a while with his 2 stallions. It was unpleasant to see him, as you might imagine. I didn't freak out. It just made my heart beat a little bit faster in that anxiety/adrenaline way. And it's a little paralyzing, to have him be a tattletale, which he is. I'm not calling names. He did tell on me. There's not much I can do, I want to go over and talk to him about things because there are things to talk about. Not just antagonistic things, but things worth talking about. And now I won't. It is what it is. He's a little bitch. He can't deal with his own stuff. He can't deal with the mess he's made. He can't handle me. Ooh, scary me. Scary me, the husband of his girlfriend. After everyone left the barn, it got too late to go home. Traffic would have been too bad. When everyone left the barn, I walked through, and his 2 horses were there, and I had a little conversation with his horses, which I'm sure I'll put somewhere in here now. I just let them know that he's not a nice person, and they shouldn't listen to him. And I know it's stupid how juvenile can I be? Because they're horses, and they just look at you with their horse eyes like, okay. But he sucks. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you more in a minute. So I'm doing a little bit of a Groundhog Day kind of thing. I went to the same place I went for dinner Tuesday night, and now I'm gonna go shoot the same sunset I shot on Tuesday night, and I'm gonna see how it all goes. Anyway, might be nice if I was a little original, but I'm not, so just gonna try and do it better tonight. There's so much reclaiming you have to do in a breakup like this when you stay in the same town. To my left, right here, is the store where my wife bought her wedding dress, where I bought her wedding dress. It doesn't have as much impact tonight. It's strange. I'm well aware that's where the wedding dress came from, and that was the wedding dress that hung in our room for the month that preceded the wedding. That's just long pink bag that I just wondered. I was like, ooh, what's in the bag? What's it gonna look like? What it'll be like when we do the first look? I'm so excited to get married. It was wonderful. On our wedding day, when I saw her in the dress, I'll never forget what it was like. It was strangely intimate and wonderful, while at the same time being very aware that there was a photographer taking pictures trying to capture the moment when I first saw the woman who's to become my wife. And that all came from that store, right back there. And I don't know how many times I will have to drive through this town until the first time I drive by and don't think of the fact that that's where my ex-wife's wedding dress came from. I don't know if it's just a matter of practice. It sucks that I have to do that. I would rather drive by and get all warm and fuzzy and be like, hey, that's where the dress came from when we got married. And instead, it's an emotional obstacle I have to overcome. This was a little bit of a bust. There was no sun to be seen. That's a lie. There was a faint little sun poking through the clouds that set, but all in all, I mean, stunningly gorgeous. Gorgeous here. I'm so happy to be here. But in terms of dramatic sunset time lapses, not a whole lot. What's remarkable is it's really dark behind me, but over that way, hold on, let's see if I can show you. You see the clouds right there? Like the sun has set ahead of me, but somehow it's still, like, the angles just get crazy. It's lighting those clouds up really dramatically. Everything else is dark and shadowed except for those clouds which before were like white, and now they're like a yellowy orange. And so I set up all my stuff for naught. Oh well. I don't know if I'll be up here tomorrow because, as is my Friday tradition now, I have to judge the horse show, then I have therapy. It'll be an interesting therapy this week, I think. Not as of yet, a whole lot of drama or trauma. Well, I'm gonna pack up and head down, see the dog. Maybe I'll bring her over to the new apartment, just let her check it out. Yeah, I'm gonna do some stuff while there's still some light. I'll see you in the car. And right about now. I don't know exactly where I am tonight. I feel okayish. I feel a little stressed and a little sad, but I can't exactly put words to the sad. Like my overall demeanor is sort of like a little low, which I guess is better than being devastated. So that's a positive. I'm not suffering, but I'm maybe having a little bit of an issue with identity, just in terms of like what is meaningful. I truly believed I was in a situation where I was good and wholesome and had purpose. Like I felt very fulfilled and very whole. I really liked being married, and it became an integral part of my identity. I mean, it was more so than just being married. It was the person I was with. I think the getting married thing just put more of a lock on it. And I never took being married for granted. I never thought, well, we're married, I don't have to try anymore. Like, I always tried. I always worked to be worthy of the marriage, of that relationship. I never wanted to take it for granted, and I don't think I did. I really don't. I don't know that I could have done it much better. If I'd been given direction, you know, if I'd been told like, hey, this isn't working, or hey, we need to reconsider this or that, that's different. In terms of putting work into fixing something that was broken, absolutely, I have limitless energy for that. But in terms of how I operated within the relationship, believing that it was wonderful, I don't think I could have done it much better. I was present, I was aware, I was considerate, thoughtful, dynamic, always trying to come up with new ideas and things to do. I really tried to bring my A game. I really tried to not be in a rut or just do repetitive comfort zone things, except when it benefited her. I tried very hard for that. So being in that relationship, I was very proud of it. It became central to my identity. To be in a thing with someone where you have the ultimate belief that no matter what, we'll be together and we'll be okay. We will make it work. I believe in her. She believes in me. We are an amazing team. To have that as your core belief, holy, you're like, that's amazing. It's empowering and bolster. Like, you can do anything. If you have that, it's all possible. It's all good. And when that goes away, it's a weird kind of void. It's not to say I won't be fine by myself, but it's not just a breakup. And to have that go away in the way in which it did, you know, it'd be one thing if you had that and then slowly you grew apart and you were like, oh, we used to love each other, but now she annoys me, or we used to love each other, but now this or that. That'd be one thing if you could see it falling apart, and if you could choose to try or not try. But I believed I had all that right up until she blindsided me. And I feel this defensive need to reiterate that I'm not a clueless guy. I'm not one who doesn't understand emotions, or I'm not one who's not empathetic. I was keyed into her, and it doesn't make sense to me. It's not like things changed within our relationship, interpersonally, physically, romantically. We were still doing good. We were still future planning. It was all good from my perspective.